Fortnite's lawless season has split the fan base. One side has people roasting the battle pass, bad medallions. There is a long list to go over, so here is everything hated and whether it's valid or not. In our last season, we had countless bosses on the map. It felt like a true invasion by demons. So when fans dropped into season 2, they expected lawless to feel even more chaotic. Pretty valid argument because there's only one single new boss, Fletcher Kane. Now, playing devil's advocate here, you gotta admit he is ruthless, but that's assuming he even appears. You have to check the map and make sure you land at just the right POI, which could throw you off balance. And if you just want to rob a vault, this guy could be the definition of a third party. I will say it's kind of funny, he's like the only dude in the whole season trying to stop crime. At least he doesn't show up to protect his armored trucks. There's already an entire army guarding these. I'm not gonna lie, it's really fun to steal these things and try and fit as many people in the back as possible. But aside from that, fans are annoyed at just how much effort you need to put in to drive one. You gotta wait half the match, take out waves of enemies, blow open the door, and then you can hop in the driver's seat. What do you get in return? Well, it's slow, hate the lack of guns or ramming ability, and even when you do fit all your friends in the back, they can't really do all that much. Now, lawless can be incredible, and while I'm just the messenger here, the negatives of this season are sometimes hilarious.
Huh? Hold up. Wait a minute.
Yo, there's mad glitches with the sniper.
Ain't right.
Yeah, you don't need an eye test. Ghost Rider is straight up unusable with the new sniper. In fact, this same rifle is the weapon that's turning skins like Hatsune Miku bald. One of the more surprising additions has to be the portacover. You can even find this in build
what
mode,
the fuck does this shield do? Nothing.
Left a ton of people scratching their heads, basically asking, what's the point of this? We have builds. And even in zero build mode, players think it's too short, especially when the porta bunker is still here. It makes sense why you would never pick the cover. Now, there has been a huge problem that everyone's pointing out though. You guys kept telling me how much Epic needs to fix the kneecapper. And we could all see this coming from day one. This thing is really busted, especially in zero build. I mean, I'd argue that having a baseball bat that launches players is some of the most fun we're having in years, but people have their own solutions. Some want to see it banned from rank mode or adding some kind of damage for using it too much, maybe even a cooldown. I gotta admit, stuff like that might ruin the whole fun of the kneecapper, but hey, we're all here to share our thoughts. Sometimes, even if your thoughts aren't very constructive, like insulting the battle pass. Okay, so on one hand, we have a ton of players who straight up think it's boring or not very special, even though it includes some iconic skins like Big Dill, Fletcher Kane, Midas, Joss, you get the picture. We've had a lot of battle passes where 80% of it is great and the rest is lackluster, and then people just end up hating the whole thing. So I'll add a counterpoint here. There are some issues with this pass, like how there's no special theme song when you buy it. It's the first time they've done this after a 5-year streak. So I'm a little salty about that. But let's keep it on track to the community's thoughts about the sticky grenade launcher. Apparently, it's so overpowered that all you guys had to do was send a photo of this thing with no words needed.
Bro, the weapons are so OP. They have more special weapons than they do like the regular weapons, and they don't even have much of the regular weapons. It's only like 1 or 2 of each weapon. I don't know. Maybe they have like 3 now, like 3 ARs, but
Hey, sheesh, not an uncommon opinion. A ton of people want to see this nerf because it's straight up destroying players right now. At least it's not destroying our ears, unlike Season 2's vaults. These take forever to open, and the whole time you have super loud music, NPCs yelling and shouting, the alarms are blaring, it's a lot. But it's still not disturbing players as much as the alarms on the train. In fact, these were so loud, even Epic had to step in and mute the sound effects. I'm not kidding, instead of turning it down, you now rob a train and don't hear any alarm at all. But fans still haven't roasted that as much as the huge laser rifle in Season 2. There's an entire Reddit post saying the bat is OP, the hollow twister is still OP, but why is nobody talking about this thing? And it turns out they are. You guys made yourself pretty clear that the plasma burst needs some kind of nerf. Admittedly, the
plasma burst is so OP, bro. I swear on everything. If I'm up close, bro, it's like I kill somebody in like less than 5-10 seconds.
The most fun weapon in Fortnite right now, but apparently they're just too common, so everybody's carrying this thing. With no recoil and 30 damage per second with an explosion effect, no wonder people keep using it to shred players. Now let's take it back to when we first heard the season was happening. Leakers revealed we were getting a heist theme, and collectively, the entire community just groaned. And I don't blame you, it's not exactly brand new. We've seen it all before, like in the Spy season and Kato Thorn's Arrival. But now that we've had a chance to settle into Lawless, it has pulled off the heist theme better than any of the ones before it. Now it actually feels like we're robbing a bank, you know? But I'm not really sure how Sub-Zero fits into the theme. But I'm glad he's here, because his mythic is really fun to use. Although some fans who picked this up wish it was a little better. The melee damage is fine, but the slide attack, it just feels lackluster.
The theme idea is a good idea, but I feel like they could have did it way better. I mean, but it's not bad though. I like the Mortal Kombat collab.
They hope the spear will be throwable or the slide would take you further. In fact, mobility seems to be the most common complaint because you'd expect a nice slide to actually let you travel around. At the moment, it's just more of an attack than anything. Because of that, players aren't really keeping it in late game, instead choosing the black market weapons instead, although even that has its troubles. When you go into the black market to choose your item, you can often find yourself just getting destroyed by campers. People are just building up in here waiting for enemies to go shopping for guns, only to receive a hail of bullets instead. And the solution is obvious, with tons of you guys asking for more black markets on the map. Honestly, this should happen. Although I can see both sides to the complaints about Launchpads. It has been a long time since Fortnite turned these into throwable items, and a lot of people haven't had a problem with it, except in Zero build, it's starting to become a real struggle. You want a Launchpad, but it has to take up an entire slot in your inventory, and because there's no buildings, there's no traps. So even if Epic turned the itemized Launchpad into the trap version, you still wouldn't be able to place it down because builds are turned off. But hey, at least it was exciting to get an all-new Medallion this season. As you know, Fletcher Kane drops the Unstoppable ability, which lets you run faster and bash people out of the way. Except fans are already calling it useless. And for whatever reason, they assumed it would stop fall damage, which let me tell you, is not the case. From a worthless item to the most overpowered one, Fortnite has just turned the Chug Jug from a novelty to a must carry. Now, not only do you get double the amount of healing, but you could drink it over time. They have removed all of the risk of carrying this, which has caused Season 2's heal-off problems to be even worse. And it's not the only item that's returned only to be busted. The Twin Fire Shotgun is constantly laughed at because, you know, it looks like that. But players aren't laughing once they come face to face with it, mostly because it destroys them. Usually, when you guys have a problem with a weapon, you ask for it to be nerfed or something. Not this time. Everyone is asking for Epic to straight up delete it. The reason the Twin Fire is even in the loophole is because Epic didn't add a single new shotgun for Season 2. But don't worry, because it turns out help's on the way. There are already 2 leaked shotties in the files, it's just gonna take a couple weeks for them to drop. So I gotta
They
admit,
already dropped now in the new update.
though, while Season 2 is amazing, some decisions are just straight up weird. For example, like the fact you can't pick up a teammate's gold. Like, we have a whole squad and we can't even help them out. And then we have the greed boon, which is one of the most common abilities you could find, and once you reach the gold cap, it is now straight up useless. Earlier we talked about how the new sniper could either make you bald or blind, but there's been some actual changes which fans disagree with. In Season 2, snipers now have an insane bullet drop, and it's just annoying players. And unless you have a legendary version, it's impossible to one-shot someone. Usually in video games, it's pretty expected that a sniper bullet would take you out in one hit, but not in Season 2, and some fans are asking for that. Also, you guys are very passionate about the collateral AR, mostly because the fire rate makes your average SMG look like a Nerf toy. Luckily, some of the Season 2 problems are already getting a fix, like the lack of mobility. As we know, players have struggled with most of the new items being weapons rather than ways to get around. But don't worry, Epic are fixing this soon when they add the drill item. This will act just like a rocket ram, and some of you are thinking, hey, we have shockwave grenades at least, but with so many items in the loot pool, they're harder to find than ever. It's easier to find someone going stealth mode than finding a shockwave, mostly because the silenced pistol is hated in Season 2. You guys made it clear that you find this thing useless, but then there are also tons of players disagreeing with them, saying it's overpowered and slept on. And literally, I feel like that sums up the community's feedback. We are very divisive about this season. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.
Everyone's like split. Nah, this season's trash. The other one's like, nah, bro, I actually kind of like this season. That's how it is with everything.